it's working. Excellent. Alright, 4 more seconds. And we are back, everyone. Misamo-chan, do you have a new request that you would like to place today? That sounds good, Andrew. We're probably just gonna have our usual chill music going on. Yeah, so we, yeah, we were like right in the middle of a battle when people were like, no, we can't wait till the end of the battle. We're suddenly conking out. And it's like, why didn't you guys warn me before the battle? Like, I could have had a couple more, hey, we're going to be going to bed soon. Can we find our wrapping up point instead of a, suddenly I'm too tired and I'm sleeping now. So that was very frustrating. And like, we had to keep going with the battle with the rest. Alright, that's okay, Misamo-chan. We'll move on to the next one on the list. That should be Video Game Andrew. Okay. And everyone else had to, like, finish the battle on their own. And, like, I don't know, it wasn't that bad. I didn't make the difficulty too hard, and they were able to finish the battle on their own just fine, but, like, kind of felt like they were missing out. And kind of, like, had their arm twisted to keep going. And it's like, that was the plan, y'all. Like, that was my plan to, from the beginning, to go until people got tired. Like, conking out and leaving part of the way through would have been just stopping on the fly would have been perfectly fine, literally at any other point in the entire session, because we weren't in the middle of a fight. But, like, then right then, multiple players conked out. So, other than that, it was really fun. That character, I spent all that time making a sprite for and adding a last second quest for. My players really liked that character. I feel like my players have a lot of rage towards the enemies and want to just kill them all. And I feel like I need to rewrite things to make some sort of outlet for that rage sooner rather than later, or they're going to lose their minds. That's annoying. This character's eyes go above his hair. I mean, that's a pretty typical anime design trope, but yeah. Heck yeah. Well, we're working on your turn right now, so now would be a good time to send it. Let me make sure yeah, Discord's open. I forgot the timer. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just an estimate, but yeah. It was mostly a shopping episode, and like, I know everyone and their mother complains about Dungeons and Dragons shopping episodes, but like, I spent a lot of time creating my merchants and creating these items. Therefore, I'm glad people spent a lot of time on them. You know? So that was pretty fun. And we got to actually do a real battle. Like, I thought the other ones were going to be real battles, but it turns out they were way too overpowered for those encounters and just annihilated everyone quickly. But that's okay. That's okay. Sounds good, Andrew. Let's pull it up in just a moment. Alright, everyone. This is Video Game Andrew's new cosplay wig, right next to his old cosplay wig. I'm pretty sure this is Alistair in the background, and this is Human Serpentius in the foreground. Very good looking wig, Andrew. We look forward to seeing the full cosplay. No problem, no problem. But yeah, I did that, then... That's correct. Let me double check real quick. Zon, check. BGA, check. Coco, check. Alligator is not on the list. Let me adjust that. Alligator. Save. Isamo-chan. Sorry. Hamajots and Bowser Ball. Excellent. List should be updated now. Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty sure that was the case. Did I not write it that way? I did not write it that way. I can do that. Yeah, that is correct. Let me adjust that for alligator. And Stone Gazer. So yeah, then we did that. I had long conversations with everyone about like what to improve and stuff, and took some notes to heart, some less so than others. And I have some patch notes I'm gonna need to update for my system in the near future. So yeah, it's a homebrew system, so after actually experiencing it with human beings, it's very important that I make some adjustments. I think I need to make a tech that allows people to attack. Do basic attacks twice. Should be an expensive tech. I need to adjust dodge because like there's no MP. There's only data because they're Digimon, but like the MP is the HP. And therefore, to spend MP to use the dodge skill, you're basically taking damage So there's basically no point in ever using the dodge skill unless someone's going to hit you with an attack that does more damage than the dodge skill would do inherently. So, like, not only that, the amount of cost I put on it makes it so they would have to do a monumental amount of damage in one hit. Like, dodge is really tough to balance. Thank you for the snoop boop, Andrew. I'm not sure if I heard that thing function, so I'm gonna run it manually.
Boop.
Okay, it worked just fine now. Now let's see if my mouse stopped working. No. Fan is still working. Everything's just fine. Excellent. But yeah, so there's no point in having a dodge that requires 7 HP to use, because the whole point of a dodge is that it avoids damage, and if you're taking a monumental amount of damage to use it, it's kind of useless, so gonna have to figure out something else there. Yeah, and kind of gonna tidy up some text to specify the difference between a single attack that has 2 different effects or a 2 different attacks. I also want to split the double attack traits into ranged attack and melee attack. I think I need to make movement do more as well. Like, the problem with evade is that it is a massive... kind of doubles my work in balancing. Furthermore, like, the problem with evade is that it's, like, no matter what happens with damage reduction, the way I have it calculated, you will always be doing at least some damage. The problem with evade existing is that evasion, basically, it's not a damage reduction, it's a chance of damage being negated entirely. And if you increase that chance too high, you have characters who are basically invincible. And like, when using things like a D20, you have to be careful because you don't want anyone's stats going above 10, and you especially don't want them going above 20, because if you have someone who has like 15 in a stat, for example, most of the time their roll, like over 50% of the time, their roll is going to deal... it's going to have less of an effect on what occurs than their stat does. And that means they just kind of have a blanket buff, a blanket number that decides what the result is going to be. And the dice starts to not matter anymore. So in games where a D20 is used, you want to keep everyone's stats at 10 or below. You especially don't want it going over 20, because if it goes over 20, like, it doesn't matter what you roll, it will never be higher than what the stat is giving you.
Boop.
Alright, we are out of time on this one. I worked on the hair and added some to the outfit. Let's go ahead and save and move on to the next one. See you next Friday, Andrew. Thank you for stopping in. Three, two, 1, 0. We should be back from ad break right now. Welcome back, everyone. So now we're starting on Kamajots. But yeah, so even then, if you have, for example, 25 on your stat, you know, the roll is still somewhat significant, right? Even if you have 30, that means you could increase your roll by like 130. On average, you will be increasing whatever your stat is by 133%. Or, yeah. By 33%. So, that's not great. Because the roll should be, you know, the most significant factor. But it's not that bad either. It doesn't break the game. The game is like, it's not functioning fully the way it's supposed to, but like, it's not completely broken. What completely breaks things is dodging. Like, if you can dodge everything reliably, then you're basically invincible. There's nothing that matters anymore. You can't take damage. So so if I bring evasion in, it's going to take a lot. If I bring a dodge in that doesn't cost a whole bunch to use, like, the thing is, I had a dodge. I brought it in, despite all the risks I just described, because I made it very expensive to use. But unfortunately, in making it expensive to use in a system where people's HP is their MP, it's useless. So I need to not just change the balance, I need to completely rework how dodging works. So honestly, what I'm thinking of doing is just making dodge into a... Unlike my player character who's, like, running a movement-based character. Like, that's the thing. I wasn't even going to make maps or sprites or any of this stuff until I found out, uh-oh, she's running a movement-based character, and I didn't really put any effort into making movement-based characters good. I made some last-second changes between Session 0 and Session 1 that made her a lot more useful, but, like, the obvious thing, the quick thing I did was I made maps that are actually complicated and encounters that require movement to function. Kind of realizing that the map I made it's not that good. It doesn't really matter if I have these like big complicated structures for y'all to play on. like, if all of the enemies are just melee. Like, most of my player characters are melee for starters. So, that's not great. But basically what's happening, like, even the movement character, she didn't even run, like, a, kiting around, like, movement range character. No, she's movement and melee, and it's like, why? Why would you have movement and melee? You just get into range, and then your movement doesn't matter anymore. Like, with... You get into point-blank range, and then you're in range for their melee attacks, and they're in range for your melee attacks, and y'all just go back and forth. You kind of just put yourself into the position where your movement is irrelevant. Like, by making your range specialist a melee character, like, you're just moving into a position where your movement becomes irrelevant, and then just going back and forth. You're removing your best stat from the board, inherently. Very frustrating. So, I'm thinking what I want to do is have more enemies who use ranged attacks, and I want to test that out next time. I'm going to replace the Dokugamon that I had previously in the level, and replace them with some ranged attackers. And these ranged attackers can, because that's the thing, like, heavy movement makes them vulnerable to melee, heavy health makes them vulnerable to range. I don't know. If I just make some ranged attackers and set them up in places that all the other players can't get to easily, and have them, like, just devastating the party from a distance. I feel like her character, Kaitomon, like, she's named Kaitomon, and she's not even using a kite strategy. This is ridiculous. Yeah, kite strategy is where you're a ranged character who has high movement, and therefore you can move out of range of your opponents faster than they can move into range, and your range goes further than theirs, so you can use that to deal non-stop damage. I mean, even then, I say that, but it's like in an outdoor level that, again, kind of makes her invincible. Like, we're just kind of running into the same problem, but with extra steps. Like, I need damage reduction, not damage invincibility. Like, and even then, movement still provides... First of all, it provides, like, battle flexibility, which did end up being a little bit important. Especially since, you know, 2 players dropped out mid-fight. But, it provides battle flexibility, and more importantly, it provides initiative. Like, in these tactical, top-down tactical RPG games, whoever has the most movement is the one who's going to be able to move into range and then attack first. So it already has multiple purposes. I've already made, like, an evasion stat, which gives it a third purpose. It has evasion. It has tactical mobility. It has terrain challenge. It counters terrain challenges. It does all these things, and then, like, it also provides, and then it provides, last time, I added that it provides damage reduction from ranged attacks. So now she wants it to provide, like, DPS damage too, and it's like, no. If you wanted DPS damage, you should have picked attack. That's not what this does. I don't know. So, I don't know, with Mobile Striker, basically Mobile Striker allows her to take half a movement action away after hitting. So, like, I feel like if she's using that, you know, I don't even need to give her dodge moves or whatever because she's already a dodge tank. To be able to hit her afterwards, they need to have enough range. Sorry, they need to have enough movement to catch up with her, or enough range. I mean, they're very, like, first of all, ranged attacks are very unlikely to hit her because of her movement, so they're gonna have to be a melee fighter to counter her hard. And they're going to have enough movement to close the distance. Like, that in itself, they're gonna have to have enough movement to close the distance to get back into range of her. And, like, they're gonna have to do that while potentially moving around her allies and getting themselves further into bad positions where they can get attacked from multiple sides by, with concentrated melee attacks. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what she wants. I feel like she already has a lot of good stuff, and she just didn't get a chance to use it this time. So, I don't know what I'm going to do about the dodge tech. If I will make adjustments to the dodge tech, honestly, I could just remove it entirely. It's kind of a waste. I don't know, what I could do is if she succeeds on a speed check, right? Then it would allow her to use her evasion in melee range. That could stand to be cheap, both in ability point cost and in data cost. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. Dang it. So yeah, then the next day there was a Beyblade tournament I had to get to with my friends, and like I was using Whiz Wand and I was using one Whiz Wand 160 on Hex, right? And I was also using a Phoenix 360 Rush. Soar Phoenix 360 what? Rush. Then I had a... what was it? Rush. Right, Golem Rock. My friend let me borrow a 760 and I was running it on Hexa. Yeah. My Whiz Wand was on 160 and Ball. Right. That sounds familiar, but I don't think so. Maybe. Did you send that to me, like, way back when we started this request? I need to be able to zoom out and do my lines. Honestly, this settles it. I'm making the decision right here and now. Recent. Okay. I didn't catch up with all of the messages you sent me yet, so I might have to check that out in a bit. Oh yeah, the point is I had a good defense bay, a good attack bay, and I had one of the best stamina bays ever. Rill in regards to Versailles sketch I want to film. Okay, just a second. Is Versal this character? I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be someone else, right? It doesn't look like they're standing. I don't want to fix those paws. Let's just take a look at those messages real quick. Not anything about Versal in here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about Versal and Venus in the Discord. If you could resend me what it is you're talking about or link me to it, that'd be great. So we're gonna play an ad real quick and then we're gonna get started on the next one. I believe next on the list is Coco for Coco Picks. Okay. Okay, I see it now. All right. Hey everyone, welcome back from ad break. I have to read something real quick and transfer this data into the file so I can keep working on it. So give me just a sec. Alright everyone, we're back. I have transferred the information I need into the file. See here, now it's time to work on Cocoa for Cocoa Picks. So during the off stream, I fixed the clothes a little bit and added the rings. Okay. So I need to find the colors of this character. So I need to figure out the patterns. Right. I don't need the colors that much, do I? Kimono, X-shaped, gold around the edges, 7-point, star medallion. Acting as a belt buckle, good, nice sitting within the medallion center. Okay, let's go ahead and add that detail. That sounds cool. If you would like to send those to me, I can make updates if you would like, or I can keep going with this design if you would like. Excellent. Let's take a look. These help a lot. I'm definitely stealing some of these solutions. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, well, I guess I should turn my phone on vibrate then, shouldn't I? There we go. How was this done? I like this a lot better. Here we go. Phone is set to vibrate, so we shouldn't be getting moto notifications every 2 seconds anymore. Okay, let me make sure I'm not missing anything in the Twitch chat. Sorry I'm so groggy tonight, y'all. Coco, are you fine with me sharing these sketches with everyone else? These reference images. That's a shame. That's a shame. Wait a minute, isn't this a super slot and not a regular slot? Let me check. Oh, Kamajots had a super slot as well. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I keep forgetting those. Just get in the habit of get started, press my hotkey for my timer and like get working, but that's not the case with super slots. They need to be significantly longer. That means I need to go back to Kamajots and work on that one. Sounds like I have a lot that I need to add to the Kamajots one anyway. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That suddenly turned gray. I don't know. cool. That's cool. Do tell. That sounds good. Let's take a look. Would you like to share them on stream? That sounds fine. That sounds good. That sounds good. Heck yeah. Would you like to show them to the stream on your turn? Hmm. Well, I'll have to take a look at them in the Discord then. Like, I would think depictions of firearms kind of have to be allowed on Twitch since you have so many people playing Call of Duty and Apex Legends and whatnot. I feel like you can't really like just toss out the whole entire first-person shooter community, and like those people in the first-person shooter community, they also need graphics and whatnot that are relevant to their stuff. So I doubt it's against Twitch TOS. I could double check though. I will have to take a look at it. Fine, this looks fine, this looks good. Oh, I see the problem, I see the problem. It's not the firearm, it's the implications. Okay, well, we can leave that one out. But do you have permission to share the rest of these when we get to your turn? Sounds good. If you have a post version of that drawing, then that sounds fine. Well, that's pretty typical of those of artistic persuasions. If we had normal thoughts and normal minds, we'd be able to keep them on the inside. Not be compelled to be drawing at all times. Just gonna erase this. There we go. What's up? What's up? You tell. if I can do it from my end. I can't either. I am not sure. Check. Let me double check the description. Was purple kimono and X drape. 7-part stone medallion with an eye. I didn't finish the eye. Yeah, I feel that mood as well right now. Awesome. You know, I was kind of making this with like a solar theme or like a Wajat in mind. Now that I look at this, it kind of looks like a virus. Which, considering this character has like inspiration from Sonic Rewrite, actually makes a lot of sense. Uh-huh. I don't think it's the context that matters, it's the content through which people put their own personal content that triggers people to relive their own personal contexts. You know what I mean? Sure I am sleepy. Alright, so, yeah, as I mentioned, I went to the Beyblade tournament. That was like, was that yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. So, point is, I was using, Whiz Wand with a, 160 on ball. And it kept bursting. Like, it costed me multiple matches. I ended up winning, like, only one match, and I barely squeaked by in that one. And I was like, what the heck? And, like, I'm like, okay, I guess people are just running strong attackers or something today. Understandable. Whiz Wand is, not the toughest blade out there, and 160 is not the toughest ratchet out there. But then it burst, like, against another Whiz Wand. And I'm like, are you serious? That's not even an attacker. Like, there is no excuse for it to lose against a Whiz Wand. And, like, early on, I'm, like, commenting to my friends, like, this Whiz Wand doesn't feel right. Like, it's bursting way too easily. They're like, who's it bursting against? And I'm like, oh, I can't remember. But something doesn't feel right. And then, yeah, so, like, the last match I have, I go up against another Whiz Wand, and it bursts against a Whiz Wand. And I'm like, okay, that's incredibly sus. Like, Wizwand does not have the power to burst anything, not even another Wizwand. That is so weird. So, like, and my friend is telling me, like, no, it's 160, it's notoriously weak. And then we're testing it, and like, my friend just literally grabs the Wizwand with their hand, and it bursts. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. This is clearly broken. So we look at the ratchet, and sure enough, it's wobbly. And she pulls out her own 160, and we test like both of them, and like one is incredibly wobbly and practically falling apart, and the other is perfectly firm. No wobble whatsoever. And it's just like, gosh dang it. If I had followed my instincts earlier on in that tournament, we could have switched my 160 out for a functioning 160, like, right at the beginning, and I wouldn't have... I'm not saying I would have, like, won or anything, but I wouldn't have been absolutely destroyed in all of my matches that entire tournament. Drives me nuts. So yeah, I should have listened to my instincts. Trusted what they were telling me. That doesn't look right. I need to make some adjustments there. I need to make a lot of adjustments, but we're out of time. Let's go back to Kamajots and see what I can do about this. I have to read some stuff real quick, and then we can get started. Right, let's grab these references and bring them in. Hey. The kittens is messing with my shelf. I had to yell at her. Pretty sure she's trying to steal our treats. Alright, did you want a background on this request? Okay. What kind of background would you like? Just a minute. I have to go stop that cat from ripping my stuff apart. Alright, I lost her. But she's not ripping my things apart, but that sounds good. Do you have a reference for that? That sounds good. Welcome back from ad break, everyone. Why isn't the timer running? It is running. Why isn't it showing? There it is. That is not the case. Hamajot's got a super slot, not a basic slot, and I forgot to give them their full half an hour.
Hello, darling. How are you doing today, sweetie? Alright, next up we have Feraligatr and Zon. Right, but first we need to take an ad break, and I'm gonna take this opportunity to take a bathroom break and make a quick snack. I'll be back in a bit, y'all. Using green for the fine with. Yeah. Checking friend mom. And we've got lots of progress due on the lining. Hopefully I'm not missing anything right now. Not missing anything on my sketch layer. Me neither, but it is a little tough to see until we get it all in black and white. Oh, you found something? I'm guessing you found something. Hmm. Oh no, I can do that. Just a moment. Let me go ahead and grab those. The way we go with art shows is that it goes while your timer is going. But I can move through these quickly if you like. Or maybe we could only, or maybe we should only do a couple today. Here we have this character, just a moment. We have Cassia being such a cute little goober right here. This looks like it's by Ryu Yoki. Be sure to check out Ryu Yoki. Then we have this one. I'm not sure I recognize this character, but it looks very cool. And then we have this character. This also looks like a character I haven't seen before. A very intense illustration done by Nymphreziac. And after that, we have Cassia laying in front of the fireplace. This is a very comfy drawing. I like this. And a plate of cookies, because of course she eats cookies. She's a sugar monster. She needs her sugar. And we have this one. I love this. This is so cool. They did so well on their highlighting. I need to steal all of their techniques. I will genuinely be studying this one. This one's going to go in my reference folder. That's cool. That's cool. Then we have Cassia down here in sketch phases. You still look very great and graceful and beautiful, and I like that. She's a beauty, she's a grace. She has peanut butter for face. Scarsha. Okay, what's the deal with Scarsha? Tell us about that character first. What is that? What am I looking at there? That's the hair in the background. Okay. Alright. Fair enough. She does look fairly mysterious. Foo foo foo. Mysterious because I has secrets, or mysterious because my artist didn't give me a backstory. Foo foo foo. I guess you will never find out. So the next one after Scarsha, who was that again? Let's see here. Sometimes futility is a reason for existing. Hold on. I will pause a moment. I need to look something. Just because there's no use for it, is it futile? Sometimes the existence itself is enough. And now we can resume. So I have this wrinkle going this way on this sketch, but I'm not going to actually stick with that. We're absolutely having them go this way instead. To engage my arm fully with these lines. I think I'm starting to do a little better now. I think I got a little bit out of practice this week because I didn't have time for drawing while I was out there. That sounds cool. We would love to see it. And we have a ding. But we've entered the lining phase, so we are going to be making a lot of progress from here on out. And I can't wait. Next up on the list, we have Zonstone Gazer, who I believe is also on the lining phase, but may actually be on the coloring phase. Almost done with the lining phase. We have to play an ad real quick and then we'll get started. For sure, for sure. These. Oh, we are still in ad break. I will wait another 10 seconds before answering you. And we are back from art break. Yes, I'm having a great time with these silly little characters. I love how they're super expressive. And these outfits and designs are very comfortable, but original and creative. And, like, is going to be very fun. I am definitely having a good time with them so far, and I always love them ghosty characters. Alright, I think it's time to finally start coloring this one. Whoops. There is not a single piece of skin showing. Something to work with. I know it feels like that sometimes. It does. It's true. You know, that sounds about right. Yeah, I'm seeing that. Honestly, I think the biggest flaws, so to speak, that I'm seeing from this are the fact that I took on a lot more than I could chew with perspective, because that's the thing with a lot of these requests. I am truthfully not just doing them as requests, but doing them as training as well. Therefore, oh, this is backwards. It's actually black. An even darker black. But yeah, I'm doing them also as training, you know? Like, I can't just draw things that I'm super comfortable with all the time and then have gone nowhere in, like, the next year or so. They need to be challenging tasks that this would have come out over here. This entire line can afford to be gone. Okay.
They need to be challenging tasks that improve my skills, and therefore I attempted very heavy perspective. There's also some other mistakes here and there. For example, this foot down here is twisted way too far. This leg right here, I don't know what the heck is going on with that. But, like, not that I'm asking y'all to give me more challenging ones, but, like, like, if all of my requests that I had to do, like, or all insanely challenging at once, I think I would die, but some of them, for sure, need to be. Keep myself growing. I'm gonna keep using this color. Ah, apparently. What color do I want to use for this? I think I'm going to use this one. That's going to need to have more flesh tone to it, but for the most part, yeah. Hold up, the entire head is actually brown. Okay, that's easy to adjust. Red for these little wingy dupes. 100% goofball. Goofball is goofing. For sure. Let's see here. So we have a nice neon green for the eyes, with a dark green for the irises. I'm just going to take this same green and drop the value way down and use that for the pupil. Tongue is not showing in any of these. Probably going to use this. There we go. What other differences? Like, I don't know. This arm feels way too stiff. I spent a lot of time trying to fix this hand and it still doesn't look right. I think the problem is this arm doesn't, like, taper into it. Like, this should have come up a bit. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I would mess with, but I spent a long time trying to get that right, and this was the best I could do with my skill at the time. So this is what it's gotta be. Oh dang, there's a polka dot pattern on the tail. I can probably do that. But yeah, I think I needed experience with drawing in perspective, but honestly, I should just do more sketches in perspective. But that's the thing. That's the crazy thing, is like I'd done a whole bunch of perspective sketches recently, so I thought I had this in the bag when I attempted it. But I don't think I did. The characters themselves are pretty easy, and they're in really easy to draw poses. I'm not so sure if I would call any two-parters easy, since they're basically twice as much work. But I mean, at the same time, like I said, I'm posting them separately, so I guess that's not really a problem. Let's see here. Let's make this 50. And I need this to be a different color, dang it. Recognizably different. Wow, that's completely wrong. Didn't I say max value?
There we go. So maybe do something with this to make it a little more extreme. I'm gonna grab everything of this color and replace it with this color. That's better. It makes the contrast more extreme. Let's see here, what hue is this? I think it's cyan. Yeah, it's cyan leaning towards blue. I want a bit more saturation, so we're gonna dial this up to 70. Oh man, I am feeling so much better after I had some food. I think it was just the lack of food. Dang it, tool. Change your settings already. That was making me so lethargic before. Perhaps, perhaps. It's still red. This one is black. I am going to use a different red because I need to clarify that this is a different material. Uh-huh, that's true. Go back to this version, and that's much better. Let's see here. We have several parts that are sticking through, and that's a bit of a problem. Oopsie. I think that's something I can fix, no problem. Wait, why is the sketch layer still showing? There we go. Let's grab these and use it for the gold. Good, good. Yeah, hopefully I can make some... I don't know, weren't these characters like hugging each other in panel 2? Or what was it? I'm gonna do the same with this, actually. Because I want to be able to put a bunch of highlight on this afterwards. I need it to be like that. Let's grab this and zoom in. Seeing several problems right here. I'll have to go back into the line layer to fix them. Or I could keep working on colors until the timer runs out. That sounds a lot better. You know what? I'm gonna make a notes layer. Yeah, it would seem so. Right, I will try to adjust those things later. Yeah, you're right. I think that's the end of the stream, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. I appreciate it. Sorry I was a bit low energy. It has been a long week, but we are going to be back next week, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing Gartic phone again. Unless I can get something else figured out by next Friday, then we're going to be doing Gartic phone again. I look forward to seeing you all then, and I think you should add color to the color raffle because six. Thank you, darling. Loves you forever, sweetie. Yeah, we're looking for someone to try to raid Bowser Ball. Let's see who I got. Certainly gonna try. So it looks like for sure. Last stream, I don't know. It seemed pretty good. I mean, my averages didn't go up, but there were a lot of new people here. And we had a lot of fun. The last round, I think we were all pretty tired, and in addition to being tired, we had to deal with all of a sudden. So, the energy kind of wound down all of a sudden, but that's alright. Let's go ahead and raid into... I'm gonna try Bagel again. So I'm sure all of y'all know Bagel My Ego, because they do art requests just like me. Let me just make sure they're gonna still... Oh wait, this is not art. This is a video game. Dang it. Okay, what about Lil Guy? Is Lil Guy an option? Is Lil Guy actually drawing? Yes, Lil Guy is actually drawing today. Let me just check the rest of my following. Let's see here. Yeah, towards the end. But, like, we managed to moderate them so that none of the things they posted showed up in the end. So all it did in the long run was just drain our energy when we were, like, already tired for that last round. Okay, give me just a sec. I need to mute something. Need to pause this. See what happens if I listen to what Guy is saying.
I do kind of like the purple back there. You gonna be drawing for a while today? I got a couple hours in me, I reckon.
Alright, looks like we're raiding Lil Guy. Everyone be sure to be nice.
I will see you next week when we attempt another Gartic phone game. Take care, everyone. Night-night.
Oi, Ricken. Too saturated. Oh my god! Hooray, das Snooter! I kinda had an inkling that was gonna happen. What's up, das Snooter? How was your stream? Snooter brought us here. Really now? Well, welcome in. How was Snooter's stream? Hey, 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 welcome in. Okay, I don't like this brush for doing these mountains. That's kind of nice. I'm suffering low-key. I'm sorry to hear that. It was a little bit low energy, but we still got work, lots of work done. You know, I'm kind of having a low-energy stream as well. I can't say I'm getting lots of work done, though. Do you have any art tags for me, Snooter? Weather won't stop being cold as fuck? I'm sorry to hear that. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so I think this foreground should be more saturated. Is the link to DeviantArt still acceptable as art tags? Go for it. I'll look at what I can before DeviantArt kicks me out. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. What have we been working on in the snooter sphere? Oh, this is quite a lovely little piece. Aleph and Null. Oh, that's a cute name. Aleph Null. I love that. It's the number that's bigger than infinity, right? Or the concept of the number that's bigger than infinity. That's very fun. Very cute character design. I love how they mirror each other. They look like quite the pair. And then here we got Vera holds Ducky in the moonlight. Oh, it's like from oh my god, Land Before Time. That's so awesome. Yo. I love Land Before Time. It is Ducky. I caught that. Yeah, it's so cute. Wow. I'm not sure Aleph and Null belong to Coco for Coco Pigs. You'll have to ask them. If I ever catch them, I will ask them. But I'm pretty sure that Aleph Null is the concept of a number that is bigger than infinity, which is pretty cool. Thank you for the raid, the Snooter, and thank you for letting us look at your DeviantArt. They've kicked me off the website. DeviantArt does that. They say no more looking, no more looking. But it was wonderful to see you. If you gotta go take care of yourself, then please do. But if you want to watch me draw a furry sitting in the grass, that's what I'm gonna be doing for a little bit here. But yeah, thank you so much. It was good to see you. To be over. I haven't watched Time Over Time in so long. I really should. I really should take a look at that again. Take another gander. so I have this more saturated foreground now, and as things get further away from the camera, I want them to get less saturated. And the reason I had to make the foreground more saturated was so that I had some more space to play with. So now this like hill back here is going to be less saturated and cooler, the light on this. Maybe even less saturated than that. I reckon that's alright. So now we have these hills. Whoopsies. I'm just gonna like kinda get some shapes in here. Whoopsies, that's a fucking brush. Gonna blend her down, maybe. I don't know. This kind of looks like shitty painting, maybe, but I'm learning out here. The fox/angel character holding Ducky was based on a concept art from a Don Bluth film that never made it into production called Saturday. They never ended up starting production on the movie, but I'm told it was based on a book that you can still read. Oh, that's very cool. EP moth noises. Go to bed. It's late. Thanks for looking at my stuff tonight. Much appreciated. Of course. Thank you for the raid. This looks poopy, what I'm doing. Hello, Glumbo. My sleep schedule has been completely flipped. Isn't it late right now? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's late right now. It seems like the time that you should be sleeping. So if you're EP, then go to sleep. Because you should be sleeping right now. I don't understand. I don't understand, you see. Not tired enough to fall asleep. You literally said that you're EP. I'm EP, but not EP enough for sleep. Okay, okay. Maybe I should bust out this brush, ringtail. Maybe that's fucking only it. Who? God. I was overcame with rage for a moment there. I had to chill myself. Soul is tired, mind is awake. I used to have that. I used to be really bad at sleeping. It just kind of went away at one point. Live 2Ds are already trying to piss me off. You're stronger than it. You're strong, Beetletails. Fight the demons. Okay, so I think that is maybe too saturated. Like, I want it to be colder, but I don't want it to get into that, like, that blue territory, I don't think. That's kind of looking nice. today's art advice for those of us still struggling? Depends on what you're struggling on. I could just say some bullshit, but I think it'd be more helpful if it was like directed. There's an ad starting about a minute. Thanks, Q. I can snooze that if we need. Can't be undone. Giving it though. I jump off into your arms. So this should be a little colder, or at least saturated. No, that looks yellow? Why does it look yellow? See, that's getting into like the fucking bluey green territory that I don't want. So maybe I just don't make it that colder. No, now it looks yellow. Live TD might have swapped names around on like all of my layers, but I will win. I believe in you. Beagletail's on top. Let's go. Anyway, ads starting soon. I'll be right back. I mean, I'll still be here, but like if you get ads, then I'll still also be here, and then I'll be back when the ads are. You understand. You understand. You know how ads work. You've been on Twitch before. I can't trust the fall.
Taxes was so taxing.